All right, we're tackling the chords for Lord, I Need You. Once again, we are capoed on the 2nd fret, and we are playing this in G formation, all right? So there are 4 main chords that we're talking about today with several variations. So you kind of have to hang on to your seats. There's going to be a couple changes to the chords that we're used to playing. The main chords are G, C, D, and E minor. I tell you what, if you learn those 4 chords, you can play about 10,000 worship songs. All right, so let's just get through the main chords. Once again, if you've watched these before, we do this before every video, feel free to fast forward this part, but we're gonna hit every single chord. All right, so getting started, we're gonna build our G chords. We're gonna start with our 2nd finger on the 5th fret on the 6th string, okay? Then you take your 1st finger on the 4th fret on the 5th string, and then we'll go up with our 4th finger, our pinky, put that on the 1st string in the 5th fret, and then you're gonna go 2nd string, 5th fret with your 3rd finger. And that is your G chord. And a real simple transition to a similar C chord is you're just gonna keep these 2 fingers exactly where they are, and you're gonna move your first 2 fingers up a string. So you're gonna go 2nd finger on the 5th string and 5th fret, and 1st finger on the 4th string and 4th fret. And that, my friends, is a C chord. And once again, you want to make sure when you're strumming this chord, you're not hitting that open 6th string, that E string. It gets right in the middle of your chord. There is a variation, however, we're going to talk about using that. But right now, what you have to do is you have to, with your left hand, use a little bit more of the pad of your 2nd finger and just touch that 6th string so that you got a dead sound out of it, so that when you strum that full 6 strings, all you're hearing is your beautiful C chord. All right, the next chord is the D. So with your 2nd finger on the 4th fret, 1st string, 1st finger, you're gonna skip a string, go to the 3rd string, 4th fret, and then your 3rd finger, you're gonna put on the 5th fret, 2nd string. And that, my friends, is your D chord. Really concentrate on those bottom 4 strings with your right hand when you are strumming. Make sure you are just getting those for the purest D chord. It is okay if you strum some of the lower strings with it, but to get that perfect chord, just the bottom 4 strings. The last chord we're gonna hit before we hit variations is E minor. And we're gonna keep this really similar to our other chords. So we're gonna put our 4th finger and 3rd finger in the 5th fret on the 1st and 2nd strings like we did before for the other chords. And then we're gonna add our 2nd finger to the 4th fret, 4th string, and 1st finger to the 4th fret, 5th string. And this is a beautiful E minor chord. Okay, let's talk variations. Starting with our G chord, the variation you're gonna use in this song is a G over B. And when you see that on your chord chart, it's a G with a slash and a B. Those are called inverted chords. So what it is you're using a G chord with a different bass note accented, all right? So in this case, we're using a B note as your bass. So you're just gonna take your middle finger off, and you're gonna use your 1st finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string there, and that is gonna be your G over B. So it's gonna sound like that. And similar to all the other chords, you wanna avoid using that top open E string, so make sure you're just barely touching it with the tip of your 1st finger there so that you get a dead sound. You got a beautiful G over B. In your chord chart, you're gonna see another chord called a G over D. That's not gonna affect us as guitar players because to play that, you would just be playing the bottom 4 strings like this. You can do that, feel free, but I'll just tell you the truth. Whenever I play that chord, I just play a full G. And I let my keyboard player and my bass player fill in that D in the bass, okay? So for the inversions for G, just worry about that G over B, all right? Let's head to the C chord, all right? So the C inversion that you're gonna be hitting is a C over E. And that you'll find in the chorus. Towards the end of the chorus, you hit this C over E chord. And what it is, basically, is you play your normal C chord like I just showed you. And the only difference is you are gonna hit all 6 strings full out. You wanna ring out that bottom E string as your bass note. So let me just show you what it sounds like in the song. Here's the chord. Do you hear that sounds different than the C? Here's a C. Here's a C over E. You just got that nice E bass note. All right, so that is a C over E. Another chord inversion that you're going to be looking at is off the key of D. So you've got your D chord. We're going to call this a D over F sharp. All right. So the way I build my D over F sharp chord is I wrap my thumb over the top of the fret on the 4th fret, so second from the capo, and I just hold this down. So I've got a nice F sharp note. So when I play my D over F sharp, it sounds like this. All right. The other way you can play that is you can build your D chord with the next 3 fingers. So you've got your 3rd finger on the 4th fret on the bottom string there, your pinky on the 5th fret of the the 2nd string, and then you've got your 2nd finger on the 4th fret, 3rd string. Okay, so you got your D like this, and then you just pull your 1st finger down all the way to the 6th string, 4th fret. All right. Now I recommend that form of D over F sharp for those of you with smaller hands. If you can't reach your thumb over the top and it affects the way that you're playing your D chord, you should absolutely practice your D over F sharp like that. It'll be much clearer and you'll get the effect that you're looking for. The only other chord that has a little bit of a change up is also off the D chord, and it's the D suspended. There's a couple points in the song where you'll find it on your chord chart, and you're just adding your pinky to your D. So you've got your 4th finger on the 5th fret, 1st string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret, 2nd string, and your 1st finger on the 4th fret, 3rd string. Okay, and that is a D suspended. And you can go between the D suspended and the D. Sounds really nice. Awesome. So those are all the chords in this song. There are a lot of them, so make sure you're taking your time as you're learning it. Pause the video, take your time, really work on those formations with your fingers. You're going to crush this. You're very capable and awesome musicians. Thanks for watching.